Conecuh Sausage. Conecuh Sausage is a game day favorite and always great on the grill. Pick up a package your local grocer or visit the Conecuh gift shop in Evergreen, Alabama. Coming up, special guests and features, updates from around campus, a first word from Coach Freeze, a look around Auburn athletics, and a check of the day's action across college football. Featuring Ronnie Brown, voice of the Tigers Andy Burcham, Jason Campbell, and Brad Law. Now, the host of the Tiger Tailgate Show, Paul Ellen.
Cornelius Vanderbilt never served in the Navy, but as the wealthiest of the American robber barons, he had the biggest yacht. And he had a virtual monopoly on commercial shipping in the Northeast. So the other shapers of the American economy referred to him as the Commodore. He was not a philanthropist, but his wife coerced him into giving her brother-in-law the cash to fund a university in a city far from any ocean and that he had never visited. Hence, the Vanderbilt Commodores. Hello again, everyone. War Eagle, and welcome to another Saturday of Auburn Tiger football. Vandy started the season with 2 straight wins, but their defense has faltered, and they've lost 7 consecutive since then. Auburn also had a shorter losing streak, but the Tigers ended that last week with their most complete game of the season. They'll try to build on that today in Music City. Now it's time for the first word from the Auburn locker room. Here's Andy Burcham with head coach Hugh Freeze.
Talk about, if you would, this week of preparation coming off of the uplifting win just past weekend against Mississippi State.
I thought Monday and Tuesday were really nice, and Thursday was really good. Wednesday still, Wednesday's a long day, and I don't know, maybe I'm, because that's our second lift of the week, so they've got that plus the meetings, plus the school, plus the practice, and it is a work day. It's a heavy load, but I thought we had a solid week, and now it's we've got to come in here and start fast. Hopefully, when you watch these tapes, if you watch them play at home versus on the road, and I just take Missouri and Georgia, 2 really good football teams. I mean, it was a dogfight until, every score is like 36-21, 34-21. It's just it's a scary game to play, and we I'm excited to see how we respond to it.
Listen for Andy's complete conversation with Coach Freeze 30 minutes prior to kickoff, presented by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama. Well, welcome to Nashville, Music City, as we get set for some football today. It is a beautiful day for football. Andy, it has been a very odd, a long, and much interrupted series between these two teams. On one hand, if you're Vanderbilt, you say we've won 2 out of 3. If you're Auburn, you say we've won 14 out of the last 16. But the last time they played was in 2016. It's been a very intermittent series, started in 1893, but only the 17th time they have played in 68 years of time passing. And it's tied at 21 apiece with 1 tie. So it's a very, very odd series for a conference series.
Well, you look at just this venue for Auburn. The Tigers have lost the last 2 games here in Nashville. Now, it's been a while. It was Tommy Tuberville's last year as Auburn's head coach, and then Gene Chiswick's last year as Auburn's head coach. So 2012 is the last time the Tigers played in this venue. And for this year, this venue is just completely being remodeled in both the north and the south end zones. I was surprised when just looking at the history that this series is tied at 21, and at one time Vanderbilt just dominated.
Well, Auburn's won 14 out of 16,
exactly.
So they were way ahead coming out of the 1950s, and then the 60s through the 2000s, they didn't play much.
Agree. Auburn comes in after its best win, its best game of the season. Ronnie, I'll hand it to you now and ask you, what's the key to a good start on the road? Because Auburn, quite frankly, has not played well on the road this season.
Well, Andy, I think the big part of that is Auburn's continued success on offense. Peyton Thorne had his best game of the season last week against Mississippi State, and so hopefully that's something he can continue this week. When you look at the totals of Vanderbilt's defense, what they're last in total defense, they're last in scoring defense, and so for Auburn to catch their stride, hopefully last week, they can build on those things. And so, J. Cam, when you look at it as a quarterback, how important it is.
And it seemed like Peyton got the ball out of his hands quick. We talked about hitting those hitches, those slants, those higher percentage completions that you like to get your quarterback going early into the games. We did that last week, and it ended up paying off for us because 11 different guys, Andy, touched the football last week in receiving the ball from Thorne.
This has been a tough venue for Auburn to play. All the way back in 1993, a team that would go undefeated, Auburn had to have a goal line stand to win that game.
That started on the 1 yard line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jason, you came here with 2 Auburn teams that were much better, and yet had to win games late both times. So what is it about playing here in Nashville?
I don't know. Maybe too many guys hanging out in the country music town, and not focus
There's
on
a lot
football.
to do here on Friday night, that's for sure.
That's the thing about this Nashville. I also say this, Andy. Sometimes you can play down to the level of your opponent if you're not careful. And I think for Auburn, we played those 4-game stretch where you had A&M, Georgia, LSU, and Ole Miss. Then you play Mississippi State, you get your confidence back. Coming here today, you can't just say all of a sudden we're back because you won last week's game. You got to add to the game that you had last week, because what you're trying to do is build consistency.
Coach Freeze talked about getting off to a fast start. Jason, what does Auburn have to do? They got off to a fast start last week, but on the road it can be different. It's different footing, and it's obviously a very different venue. What does Auburn need to do in that first quarter?
Yeah, that first quarter, you need to set the tempo and let Vanderbilt know that you're not here to play around. You came here to play a game and to win a game. And what I mean by that is come out and be the hammer, not the nail. You have to eliminate anything that Vanderbilt think that they have an opportunity to knock you off today. You have to make them start to think twice about that, by how hard you hit them in the first half and how fast you come out playing. Like, you got to jump up and start fast on this football team and get a lead. Auburn does better when we have leads than we do when we're behind. So hopefully today we can come out here and protect the football and let our defense do what they've been doing, is creating turnovers like they have the last 17 games.
Jason, you and Ronnie and some of our guests coming up a little later were part of a game that maybe had the worst call in the history of college football. Rod and Andy
it was.
were on the call. Auburn wound up winning the game 24-21, but Vanderbilt was awarded the touchdown on a pass where the receiver was out of bounds and missed the ball. What was your reaction to that game? What was it like being on the sideline with Coach Tuberville and that crowd during that game?
Jason, I'll let you answer that one, because a lot of that minutia I don't really remember. It's just like, hey, man, what happened? And then in the frenzy of it, it's like, okay, we just got to recoup, adjust, accept, and go back to it. But Jason remembers all the details a lot better than I do.
I would say this. Number 85 was the receiver. I do know that. I can't remember his last name, but I remember they ended up throwing a corner ball to him, and the ball hit him in the chest, and he ended up hitting the ground. Ball came out. Everybody saw it. He never even completed a catch. So that's why if we had all the technology that we have nowadays, that would not have happened.
And we couldn't see it well enough on the first time, but then we started getting the replays. Rod and I did for the telecast. He's not in bounds, nor does he make a catch. And
other than those two
officials,
things, that was a great play.
And he has 2 officials bracketing him. How you missed that call is absolutely beyond me.
Well, what happened? 3 refs got together even after the play and talked about it. So you mean to tell me that all 3 guys did not see it completely, and they ended up saying it was a catch, and we don't win that game 24-21. So that was – glad we won, because that could have been ugly.
It could have been. And, of course, we have replay now, and they have a little better lighting system here now. A lot of construction going on here, so we're going to be talking that a little bit later on. The incredible texture and taste of the Whataburger chili cheeseburger has returned. You got to love that. Layers of tasty chili, crunchy corn chips, and crisp onions combined to create a delicious comfort food masterpiece available for a limited time. Brad, we got to find a Whataburger on the way out of town tonight around 11 o'clock, and that'll ride well going down I-65. Whataburger, what's on the menu? Well, coming up, we're going to talk to Cooper Wallace, who played in that game we just talked about with Ronnie Brown and Jason Campbell. A little bit later on, we'll talk to Jarus McIntyre, who caught a big touchdown pass, had the best game of his career on this field. Roger McCreary and Bruce Pearl will also join us a little bit later on, so stay with us. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Conecuh Sausage is a fan favorite for tailgating, always great on the grill, and it's the official sausage dog and hot dog of the Auburn Tigers. Conecuh Sausage is made from the finest cuts of pork, their patented blend of seasonings, and smoked over a pure hickory fire for that true Southern flavor. Be sure to visit the Conecuh Gift Shop in Evergreen, Alabama, right off I-65 at exit 96. Enjoy a crowd-pleasing Conecuh Sausage dog while watching the Tigers and make Conecuh part of your game day. Conecuh Sausage, since 1947, a real winner.
War Eagle, it's a great day for Auburn Tigers to get vaccinated. Many children and adults that delayed vaccinations during the pandemic are still behind schedule. It's crucial that we take steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations. Children and teens can still catch up on their vaccinations even if they start late. Make sure you and your family are all up to date on all recommended vaccines, including COVID-19 and flu. Let's all do our part to get back on track. Don't wait. Vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever?
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for... Aw, Jim.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
We're still on the air.
Hello, this is Coach Hugh Freeze. They say Coke Zero Sugar is irresistibly tasty. Does that make it the best Coke ever? Find out for yourself. War Eagle.
The sweet smell of victory and grilled burgers still hang in the air. Your tailgate was a big win thanks to your Ford F-150 truck. With available Pro Power onboard, you used your F-150 as a mobile generator. That kept the celebration going long after the final whistle. See your local Ford dealer for great offers on a Ford F-150, the official truck of the Auburn Tigers. See owner's manual for important operating instructions.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Paul Ellen with you back here in Nashville, Vanderbilt Stadium, right in the heart of Nashville, where this beautiful campus is located. And we are in a construction zone that's going to last some 2 years. So the venue here seats only 28,000 for right now. It is going to be beautiful when you look at the pictures, Andy, but right now, it is truly a construction zone on both ends, and only sideline seats are available.
Yeah, the north end zone that they're working on right now, multi-floor building with 2 practice gyms spanning over 90,000 square feet, new student center locker rooms and lounges, a weight room, athletic training facility, plus premium seating and for the folks here on the south end zone, and that has not begun yet, although they've cleared it. It's where literally the scoreboard is hanging from. A multi-purpose building spanning more than 130,000 square feet. The home day locker room, the north or the south or the north end zone will have the visiting locker room. Again, loge boxes at both ends of this stadium. Much needed. I mean, this is the stadium in this league that has needed this kind of upgrades for a long, long time.
Now, it's going to be interesting because historically, it's a great city to visit.
Right.
When Auburn plays here and a lot of other teams play here, it makes a great weekend trip, and they tend to outnumber the Vandy fans. But with only 28,000 seats, it'll be interesting to see today.
I think there will be a ton of orange and blue here today, and I'll bet there was a ton of orange and blue on Broadway last night.
Well, I suspect so. We didn't venture down there last night, and it was probably a wise move on our part. But a lot of orange and blue as we walked into the stadium today. We will certainly see. Hey, the first hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show is brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Auburn Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
Hey, Tiger fans. Auburn women's basketball tips off the new season Monday, November 6th against Jacksonville State. Tip-off is 7 p.m. Central, and tickets are available starting at just $6. The Tigers need your help in packing out Neville Arena. Visit aubtix.com and make your plans now to see your Tigers take on the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State at Neville Arena. Monday, November 6th at 7 p.m. Central. War Eagle!
For generations, Alabama Extension has played a vital role in bettering the world around us. And by taking information discovered through Auburn University research to the people, we are empowering communities to tackle the challenges of tomorrow in a rapidly changing world. As educators, Extension is a partner in every county, bringing practical ways to better our homes, farms, people, and overall way of life. Alabama Extension, extending knowledge, improving lives. Discover more by visiting aces.edu.
With Vizzy's vibrant dual flavors, the vibe is yours to decide.
I'm thinking Vizzy Refreshingly Berry. A round of blackberry lemon at the bar?
Could be good. Maybe Vizzy Vibrantly Tropical.
You always say vibrantly tropical.
Come on, a cooler full of papaya passion fruit on the beach?
Oh, yeah, that's a vibe. I'm down.
Vizzy Hard Seltzer. Flavor for every vibe. Naturally flavored with other natural flavors. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Molson Coors Beverage Company. Milwaukee, Wisconsin flavored beer.
Thinking of medical school? Edward Via College of Osteopathic Medicine in Auburn has award-winning medical education and research programs. VCOM partners with Auburn University for student activities, research, and sports medicine physicians to care for Tiger athletes. VCOM is providing tomorrow's physicians for Auburn and the surrounding communities. Find out more at vcom.edu. That's vcom.edu.
To Nashville. The Vanderbilt team has arrived, and they're doing their walk around on the stadium right now. The Auburn Tigers en route from their headquarters down near the airport. Paul Ellen with Andy Burcham, Ronnie Brown with you as we count it down to kickoff for Auburn and Vanderbilt. In a few minutes, we'll be visiting with Cooper Wallace as he makes his way hopefully up to the booth. If not, we'll speak to him on the phone. He's actually in the stadium, but with the construction going on, a little awkward around here. So guys, as we talk about this game, Ronnie, I'll talk to you. Your memories. Cooper, of course, was a Nashville native, and he sort of came on. He was not your prototypical tight end, but he certainly came on and was a valuable guy on those teams that you and Jason and Carnell and the others played on.
Yeah, as you talk about Cooper, he's one of those guys that probably would fit, in today's scheme a little bit more, those hybrid guys that
H-back.
Not really a big guy, but he can catch the ball out of the backfield, but he's also effective in blocking. And so he had a really good set of skills, but I think just from a timing perspective, it was a little bit of old school football, whereas now, those guys, the H-backs, have a lot of importance in these style offenses. When you talk about them being able to split out, get those mismatches with some of the safeties and try to get the outside linebackers to have to cover those guys, I think he would have fared very well, in this style of offense where, he can come across, do some of the blocking, but also leak out to the flats, look out on those little leak routes setting up over the quarterback or over the center and catching some of those balls and, trying to create those mismatches. So I think that would have been, where he fared most, but effectively, even with his skill set at the timing of it, he did a really good job. He was a huge part of our offense, helped us out a lot, made some big catches, but also was very, very effective in the running game.
All right, let's go ahead and start our conversation with Cooper Wallace as he makes his way up to us. We're going to get him on the phone and talk to him. And Cooper, are you with us on the phone?
I am. How are you guys doing?
Well, we're doing pretty well. You sound like you're working your way through a construction zone to get up to the press box.
Well, I was going to say I can barely hear you guys, so do I need to just get up to the press box?
Yeah, we'll hopefully see you in just a couple of minutes. But if you want to go ahead and talk to us now, we can start the conversation. As a Nashville native, you got to play in a couple of games here. What's your feeling when you got to play in your hometown, coming in here with Jason and Ronnie and that crowd?
Well, that's always a cool feeling to come home and play. I think every player says that. We all enjoy having our family and friends be able to see us. But, it was always fun to come play at Vandy, but I'm not sure we played very well when I was here. So.
Well, cool. As you talk about like that time, we certainly enjoyed you. I think we had and shared a lot of friends and hung out a lot, outside of the football field. But talking about your time at Auburn and getting out of Nashville, how did that process happen? Like, how did they let you out of Nashville, and how did you end up at Auburn University?
That's a really good question. So I went to a small high school, Presbyterian Academy, and I think we had 6 people play Division I football, and not one of us went to Vanderbilt. So that was, I think Vanderbilt messed up there a little bit. They let a lot of kids get out of their backyard.
Cooper, as you look at the position that you played for Auburn, we got him here? Oh, yeah. Come on down here. It'll be a lot easier to have you with us in the booth.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
Live radio is so much fun. You got to start when you got to start.
Cooper.
There he is. Cooper War Eagle. Good to have you with us.
Talk a little bit about your position then and how you think you would have played in today's game at that tight end spot.
Well, my position then, For one, I think I was a little too pudgy, probably. I remember DT used to give me a hard time about that all the time. But I don't think I'd weigh 260 anymore if I played today. I probably would be playing about 245, 250.
Right.
And when I was younger at Auburn, that's what I was weighing when I was doing a lot of H-back stuff. And honestly, I think I was a lot better at that weight. I think that would be something different. But I was kind of on that transition where they were wanting tight ends to start kind of breaking off of the line. And so I was kind of a real in-between big guy, but also able to break out and do a little bit of something in the routes.
So you were the trendsetter. That's what you're saying. Yeah. That's what you're telling us. You started the trend. Y'all heard it here, Cooper Wallace.
I'll tell you what, Dad, you were a big change at tight end from Robert Johnson, though. I mean, that was a totally different tight end situation.
Yeah, I played with Robert for a while. Yeah. Him and Lorenzo Diamond.
Yeah.
Those guys kind of paved the way for me, though. They taught me a bunch. Robert guy, he was athletically, he was a freak. Couldn't really replace him. But, it was good learning from those guys. They took me under their wing as soon as I got in, and, all these guys did.
Your versatility, though, paid off at Auburn. I think about the Iron Bowl in Tuscaloosa in a game where Auburn was very beat up, and you're the starting fullback that day.
Yeah, Trey Smith was the starting running back. We were struggling a little bit then. Nobody gave us much of a chance going up to that game.
Yeah.
Ronnie and Carnell just laid out completely, didn't they?
We figured we'd do the switcheroo on them. Honestly, they can't get these guys. We got Cooper playing fullback. And they're like, man, what's going to happen with this? The trick play has to be coming. And then Trey goes in and carves them up on the defensive side. So we knew what we were doing.
Yeah, we had to keep y'all fresh for the end of the year, too, though.
Yeah.
We know who our guys were.
2004. You were a part of that team as well and really had a big year. We've asked other players from that team, when did you get a sense of how special that was with Borges coming in and changing the entire offense? Yeah. And you get 3 or 4 games in, and all of a sudden you guys are just knocking people out.
I think we knew it was special before that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the crew just sitting in this room right here, Ronnie, Jason, Carnell, Carlos Rogers, Dontarius, Tom, the linebacking crew, like
Jake Slaughter, the Andrew Letts.
Literally, we were all tight, like they said. We hung out all the time off the field. I think we knew it was special before the year.
So tell me this, leaving Nashville, coming to Auburn, Alabama, explain that experience. This one's for the fans. What was your fondest memory outside of the football thing? Because we always try to talk about the importance of Auburn and what Auburn means. Talk about what Auburn means to you and what that experience was like.
Everybody talks about the Auburn family, and I guess it's a little cheesy here and there sometimes, but it really is true. As I get older, I'm even recognizing it more in the way everybody took me under their wing, just the way we were treated. The whole team, literally we were brothers from top to bottom. And then just the campus, the people there, South Alabama. I still live in Nashville, and I tell my wife all the time, I'm sure I'm going to end up in South Alabama somewhere.
Now, you're back. You say you're back in Nashville, your hometown. What are you doing these days?
I'm selling medical devices.
Okay, well, very good.
Yeah.
Fun to be back home. 39 wins in your 4 years at Auburn, 3-1 in bowl games. Quickly, before we let you go, fondest memory on the football field at Auburn?
Ooh. Well, since we're standing here looking at Vanderbilt, I can't remember what year, but I caught a little seam route. I probably wasn't running too fast, but probably caught it about 12 or 15 yards, and the free safety came to tackle me. I didn't see him, but I broke his collarbone.
Well, there you go.
That's a nice memory.
Maybe we'll see something like that today.
Not for him, but for Cooper.
I didn't try to break his collarbone. It just he hit me.
He didn't know he was running to a brick wall.
No, he hit me. That was probably one of my cooler plays.
You and Brandon Jacobs remembered here for vicious hits.
I'm not putting myself in that category.
Cooper, thanks for making your way up here. We really appreciate it. It's always good to talk to you. By the way, Auburn injury report. Tigers are about as healthy as you can be 9 games into the season. No major injuries reported coming into this one today. Injury report brought to you by East Alabama Health. Their team of first responders proud to provide first aid care at today's game and every Auburn athletic event. Stay with us. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
How are you the ultimate Auburn fan? Because I got this air horn installed in my throat. Pretty sick, right? Yes. You look really sick. What doctor would even do this?
Doctor? I did this myself. I mean, I can't swallow whole food, but still.
Wait, what?
Just gotta plow through it. Hey, can I get a couple of soups up here? What about some chamomile tea? Don't be that guy. Get a fan card. The smart way to be the ultimate Tigers fan. Just go to auburncards.com.
Tackle your to-do list this season and find the right Aetna Medicare plan for you in your home state of Alabama. With Aetna Medicare Advantage plans, you can get a $0 monthly plan premium with hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage. Plans also include dental, vision, and an over-the-counter benefit. Be the star quarterback of your health. Call us for a personalized coverage review now. 1-833-771-7542. TTY 711. Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. RSNPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area.
When we say we're an everything school, we mean it. Auburn University isn't just home to the best athletics program in the nation, it's also home to the best student-centered engineering experience in America. And that's not just a slogan, it's a promise. The Samuel Ginn College of Engineering ranks as the top engineering college in the state of Alabama, while also ranking as one of the best public engineering colleges in the nation. Tomorrow's leaders, innovators, and world changers begin at the Ginn College of Engineering. Visit today, eng.auburn.edu.
What does commitment sound like? At Alabama Power, we hear you, we see you, and celebrate you on long practice days, game days that bring us together, and every day in between. Your commitment to making an impact for the team, for the fans. That inspires us to be at our best for the communities we champion across the state. We're committed to this kind of energy. That's power for a better Alabama. Alabama Power is a proud supporter of the Auburn Tigers.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Time for a check of the Yellowwood scoreboard, brought to you by Great Southern Wood, makers of Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have that yellow tag, you don't want it. A lot of early games today in the early November. Ohio State ranked number 1, 7-6 over Rutgers as they played 2 minutes before halftime. The Buckeyes driving. Texas got out to a big lead. The 7th-ranked Longhorns lead Kansas State 17-7 late in the first half as well. Ole Miss in Oxford handing it to Texas A&M so far 20-7. The Rebels lead at 4.5 minutes to go in the first half there. Clemson is pounding Notre Dame 24-9. They're playing with 1 minute to go in the first half there. Tennessee scored early in 30 seconds. They lead UConn 35-3 playing at Neyland Stadium. Arkansas got out to a 14-0 lead down in Gainesville. Got a scoop and score fumble after a quick touchdown. Rocket Sanders is back for the Hogs. Not necessarily good news for Auburn next week. Florida answered with 14 points, but Arkansas with a field goal in the second quarter, and the Hogs lead the Gators in Gainesville 17-14 with under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Indiana bidding for the upset at home. They lead Wisconsin 17-7, and Michigan State also bidding for an upset at home. They lead Nebraska 10-7. Huge game for Nebraska. They try to get bowl eligible in the Big Ten, and their schedule does not get easier after this one. The Battle of the Gamecocks in Columbia, South Carolina is all tied up. Jacksonville State 14, South Carolina 14, 3 minutes to go in the first half of that one. First hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Auburn Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
Conecuh Sausage is a fan favorite for tailgating, always great on the grill, and it's the official sausage dog and hot dog of the Auburn Tigers. Conecuh Sausage is made from the finest cuts of pork, their patented blend of seasonings, and smoked over a pure hickory fire for that true Southern flavor. Be sure to visit the Conecuh Gift Shop in Evergreen, Alabama, right off I-65 at exit 96. Enjoy a crowd-pleasing Conecuh Sausage dog while watching the Tigers and make Conecuh part of your game day. Conecuh Sausage, since 1947, a real winner.
Here's a clip from a recent Talking Tigers podcast with Andy Burcham.
Joe Witt Jr.
I'm dyslexic, so I started off school, and when I go speak to different schools, I try to, bring it back down, because when I first come in, everybody says, oh, he's an NFL coach, this kind of third. So I always start, because y'all know that classroom at the end of the hall where the kids that y'all laughed at, that's the classroom that I was in starting off. And so it brings a a level of the kids that are in those classrooms or the kids that are struggling in school. It gives them the opportunity to open up and listen. And at the same time, I was class president, National Honor Society. I won every award at Auburn High School, and it wasn't because I was just a great person. It was because of what my parents did for me.
A new episode of the Talking Tigers podcast is released every Monday, wherever you listen to podcasts. Like and subscribe to the Talking Tigers podcast, only from the Auburn Sports Network.
Saturdays in the South mean football and outdoor projects. And when it comes to outdoor projects, nothing beats quality John Deere equipment from a team you can depend on. That's why we trust Sun South, where owning the best equipment made is easy and affordable, whether you're working on your lawn, camp, farm, job site, or even ball field. For all your outdoor equipment needs, visit Sun South with 21 convenient locations, or shop online at sunsouth.com. Sun South, equipment for those that do. Sun South is the preferred tractor dealer of the Auburn Tigers. It is a beautiful day in Nashville. Brad Law back here at Vanderbilt Stadium, the Tiger Tailgate Show. Next week, men's basketball opens its season in Sioux Falls, South Dakota against Baylor. That's Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Central. The home opener is just 6 days away against Southeastern Louisiana at Neville Arena. Earlier this week, Bruce Pearl's team took care of AUM in an exhibition game, 102-66. Denver Jones led 4 in double figures with 18. And Andy Burcham now visits with the head coach of the Tigers to talk about the exhibition game and preview the start of Bruce Pearl's 10th season on the Plains.
Well, first off, just an evaluation on your part from the exhibition game on Wednesday, Coach.
You know, Andy, we actually played better Sunday in our private scrimmage, and what I was concerned about going into Wednesday was just a little bit of fatigue. I know it sounds crazy to be fatigued November 1st, but we'd gone 6 straight days. It was the 6th day. You know, I was honest with the players. I told them that, you know, Auburn Montgomery wasn't very good. They didn't have a lot of size, didn't have a lot of depth. They would play hard. They could turn us over some. You know, no matter, even though I was hoping that just the excitement of playing that game in Neville would be enough to get our guys, you know, kind of playing with the kind of effort and energy that we need to play with to be successful. It was just okay. It was okay. And I just would have loved to have been exposed more. Like we you know, obviously playing Auburn Montgomery is a wonderful thing because they're a great sister school. It was, you know, wonderful from that standpoint. But as you know, I've tried to play Division IIs that were national championship caliber. We've gotten beat by Division II a couple times. So, anyways, it didn't give me what I was looking for.
New guys got their first action in the orange and blue. Denver and Cheney and Baker Mazzara. What did you think of their first action out there?
Well, I wasn't surprised that they did well. I mean, after the game, somebody said, "Yeah, you're 3 transfers. We were 3 leading scorers," and I had to look down at it. I said, you know, and I bet you they shot good percentages with the exception of Chad, who missed a couple that he would normally make. But look, all those guys can play, and they make us better, particularly in the offensive end. You know, Denver can really shoot it. I'm so proud of Denver in the sense that he's had to play point guard because Aiden Holloway got tweaked his ankle 2 minutes into the private scrimmage, and you know, he played some this summer, you know, as I was experimenting with who the third point guard would be. But he has not had a turnover in 2 games. So that's pretty good for a guard, let alone a guy playing a brand new position. So very pleased with him. Cheney played great on Sunday, played just okay Wednesday for Cheney. I have high expectations. There's a reason why he was starting the last 2 games. And then Chad Baker, just a guy that's got it. You know, he just knows how to play. He knows how to pass. He knows how to see the ball, and I trust him.
Listening to Sonny talk about Denver in Wednesday night's game, just his comment over and over was just how technically well he shoots the basketball for you.
Yep. It got a little bit of low release, but he's got a great rotation. And every time he shoots it, you think it's going in. And you know, if we do a good job as play callers and developing our offensive schemes, we're going to get him some open shots, and he's going to make them.
Trey Donaldson has started for you, that point guard spot, his second year now with the program. What do you want out of Trey in this sophomore season?
Well, Trey has got great leadership ability. You know, he's a great leader in the locker room. I think there was just an overwhelming assumption that Aiden Holloway would start from the very beginning, being a McDonald's All-American. Those guys have had a great competition and relationship as they've helped one another and competed against one another for the starting position. One guy's going to start, one's going to finish. And right now, the minutes are going to be very close to being even. Aiden may have had a slight edge towards the end of the fall campaign in prep, but I started Trey and been starting Trey because he's the returner. Again, I think we're gonna wind up looking at starting lineups and ending lineups based on combinations, based on who plays best together. And so either way, we'll have a good player out there. You know, Trey he's shooting the ball like he shot it towards the end of last season. He's taking care of the ball. He's really coachable, and he's a tough kid.
After a day off Friday, prep begins in earnest for this team on Saturday for Baylor. Boy, that's just the start of a really tough non-conference season. And it starts with a top 20 team, a team that's a national power year in and year out, and of all places, Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah, very interesting. You elevate Mike Burgomaster from whatever his position was, special assistant to the head coach. You make him an assistant coach, and all of a sudden he thinks he's a scheduling guru, and let's go play Notre Dame in New York, right, where they, got all their fans, and then maybe St. Bonaventure, another New York team possibly, and it's like two road games plus Baylor and South Dakota. The idea with Baylor is just simply to stay relevant. It's just, Andy, what do I have to do in addition to recruit great players and have great staff and have the best home court advantage in college basketball at Neville Arena to keep this program in the top 10 to top 25 range? We're challenged with the NIL to be even close to that right now. And so you got to do things like schedule. And so I got to go play Baylor wherever ESPN tells me to go play Baylor. And on that night, there's nothing else going. Very rarely at this time of the year, there's nothing else going on. There might be some NBA, but listen, that's going to be a lot of eyes going to be on that game. I hope we play well. I hope we win. I hope Jalen Williams becomes the all-time winningest player in the history of Auburn basketball. You know how big I am on making history, and Jalen Williams has a chance to make history next week. Baylor's good. Scott Drew's an outstanding coach. Great man. Has just done a great job. They'll be prepared, and it'll be a dogfight.
You've only been one other place for 9 years in your career.
It feels like we literally just got here. It does. Now, when I look at myself and I look at the pounds on me and I look at the gray hair, I go, okay, we age in doggy years. You know that, don't we? 7, 14, 21, 10 years in coaching is like 70 years out of your life. But that's just because of the stress and the, all that goes with it. But I'm excited about it. I had butterflies for a team I knew we were going to beat by 30 the other night in Auburn Montgomery. And so when I stop having those sick, that sickness in my stomach or can't sleep the night before, the night after, it'll be time for me to retire. But I still have that love and feeling, and still go to work every day to reward Auburn for the chance to be their head coach.
Look forward to it. War Eagle.
War Eagle.
That season gets underway Tuesday night, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 8 o'clock Central. Our coverage will start at 7:30 Tuesday night across the network. Well, the Auburn Tigers put their trust in Auburn AV every home game for the best fan experience, and so should you. Bring the football game day experience home when you have Auburn AV design and install your home entertainment system. As the preferred audiovisual provider of Auburn Athletics, Auburn AV has what you need. Learn more at auburnav.com. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Tackle your to-do list this season and find the right Aetna Medicare plan for you in your home state of Alabama. With Aetna Medicare Advantage plans, you can get a $0 monthly plan premium with hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage. Plans also include dental, vision, and an over-the-counter benefit. Be the star quarterback of your health. Call us for a personalized coverage review now. 1-833-771-7542. TTY 711. Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. RSNPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area. area.
This broadcast of Auburn football is brought to you in part by Moe's Original Barbecue. Moe's Original Barbecue in Auburn is the place to go for a Southern soul food revival made from scratch with Southern hospitality. It's also a great place to catch all the games on Saturday when Auburn's on the road. Plus, make us a part of your tailgate experience with our catering options available for pickup or delivery. Moe's Original Barbecue with 2 locations in Auburn, downtown and on Bent Creek Road.
Who out there likes chicken and eggs? Both are protein-packed and loaded with essential vitamins and minerals to keep you healthy and your immune system strong. Start your morning with a delicious omelet with all your favorite fix-ins. Or have some grilled chicken for dinner. Here in Alabama, we produce almost 500 million eggs a year. You just can't beat that. However you choose to enjoy chicken or eggs, remember, they're good for you and great for Alabama.
War Eagle, it's a great day for Auburn Tigers to get vaccinated. Many children and adults that delayed vaccinations during the pandemic are still behind schedule. It's crucial that we take steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations. Children and teens can still catch up on their vaccinations even if they start late. Make sure you and your family are all up to date on all recommended vaccines, including COVID-19 and flu. Let's all do our part to get back on track. Don't wait. Vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Jason Campbell, but I'm immediately regretting this decision. Nashville, right? One of the great culinary cities in the country, and you, frankly, are into that kind of thing. So tell us what you like so much about the Nashville culinary scene.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing about y'all stayed out by the airport last night. When I got here, I immediately said I want to stay downtown Nashville. You know, I'm a food person, so I like to be around good food. Last night I was
Most people choose team over food, but that's all right.
Last night I was able to have a great dinner. I know you guys tried to get a dinner and couldn't get in anywhere. You should have made some calls. But, you know, unfortunately, I had a really good dinner and something to go behind it, like a nice red wine. And But, you know, this is a great city, man. They're downtown. You got... You know, I'm looking forward to going to Hall's Steakhouse. You know, I know you guys will be on the highway, but I'll be.
Sure.
I definitely call you in, and then you got Optimus. You got. There's so many. You know, Etch, Oak Steakhouse, Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
What city that you've spent time in has the best food?
Honest with you, San Francisco.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What'd you like about it?
They're a brick oven pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, I know people like, dang, Jay, we see on your Instagram post you're all about salmon and steak but I love a good brick oven pizza.
Yeah. All right. And San Francisco had the best one.
Yeah.
You ever make
brick oven pizza? Yes, I put some on my green egg before.
Yeah.
I forgot to put a little something underneath to keep the crust from burning at the bottom, but you scrape the top off, it was good, but the bottom, you know, it wasn't so good.
All right. And Jason's going to give us some recipes here during the next break, and then when we come back, game picks, and boy, it's tight. First hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Auburn Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
Live Sports Radio, bringing you all the action of game day with no delay. Every touchdown, interception, sideline report, and all the analysis from Andy Burcham, Jason Campbell, Ronnie Brown, and Will Herring. Yours at home and on the road. And they're good all through the spring. When football ends, you can still hear every broadcast of home men's and women's basketball, baseball, and softball, all with no delay. Live Sports Radio and Alpha Insurance, keeping you plugged into the Tigers at home and on the road.
Hey, Auburn fans, it's time to stretch those legs and reach for another bag of Golden Flake. Home or away, with family or friends, you know no game day is complete without your favorite snack. So enjoy Golden Flake or any of our other delicious snacks from the Utz family of brands and sit back for the rest of the game. Golden Flake in Auburn football, a winning team. Simple, Southern goodness. Golden Flake, celebrating 66 years as the official salty snack of the Auburn Tigers.
Hey parents and kids, it's a perfect time for students to read their way to the Iron Bowl in AEA's Be a Champion and Read contest.
AEA wants to help K through 6th grade students to be academic champions, just like the Auburn Tigers.
Students who participate in the Be a Champion and Read challenge could win 3 tickets to the Iron Bowl and a chance to take the field on game day. Ask your teacher about contest rules.
Encourage your child to be an AEA champion reader and win a trip to the Iron Bowl.
Thank you, Auburn, for over 40 years of business. Since day one at Guthrie's, we've been serving up the best golden fried chicken fingers, hand-chopped coleslaw, crinkle-cut fries, and our signature Guthrie's sauce. Often imitated, never duplicated. We have 4 Auburn locations to serve you, including South College and our downtown location off East Glen Avenue, which is open until 3 a.m. every night. Fresh, hot, and fast. That's the Guthrie's promise. To find the nearest Guthrie's to you, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
We are live in Nashville, a beautiful day in Nashville, and it's time for our game picks brought to you by Guthrie's. Guthrie's thanks the Auburn family for over 40 years of business. Since day one, fresh, hot, and fast has always been the Guthrie's promise. And to find the nearest Guthrie's to you, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com. Last week, Ronnie went 4-0.
Oh, wow. My.
Everyone else went 3-1.
What game I lost?
Oregon and Utah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the
wasn't that close.
Folks who dropped one picked Utah. So,
but I picked
and then
Utah.
apparently Taylor's just going to retire on a 1 week deal because she went 4-0.
She retired on a lot of things this 1 week.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, on that note,
back to the picks.
Andy still leads because he's the leader. Everybody else is behind him. Paul, sideline crew. Jason in last place, tied for last place.
Jason is last.
He's tied for last place.
Wow.
Right. Don't
You
take
ain't
it
first,
personally.
you last, Jason.
All right, let's get into the picks. 2:30 this afternoon in Stillwater. It's Bedlam. This looked like a blowout 4 weeks ago. All of a sudden, Oklahoma State's playing better. Oklahoma, a 6-point favorite on the road. Andy, we'll start with you.
Is this the last Bedlam they're going to have in a while?
Yeah, for a while.
I will take Oklahoma to win this one on the road.
Don't say ever, Paul. There's a chance they could bring it back in some time. Ronnie, what about you?
I'm going to follow my guy, Andy. Sometimes, I believe that success leaves clues. And, in this kind of sense, I feel like I'm following a successful guy. So I'm gonna pick up the pieces.
Ronnie's going with Sooners. Are you going breadcrumbs too? Jason, what do you think?
Man, I tell you. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Gabriel. They got it. They need this victory. They had a tough loss.
Okay. All right, so you think they bounce back. Paul, what about you? Clean sweep?
Doesn't Ollie Gordon play for Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
I tell you what, he's the hottest running back in America. I'm going to go out on the limb and take – it's in Stillwater. We're going to go with the Cowboys.
All right.
Running backs don't have much value these days.
Well, this guy does.
I like that pick very much.
Yeah.
Just based on the running back.
Yeah.
In L.A., 6:30 tonight. Number 5, Washington. Number 24, USC. Washington, a 3.5-point favorite. They've been turning the ball over like crazy the last couple of weeks, but they're still undefeated. Paul, Trojans or Dogs?
Yeah, but they're turning the ball over, but not to the worst defense in America. I mean, this is a team that was a 1-point winner because Cal went for 2 last week, 50-49. No, Washington will win this by 3 touchdowns.
All right,
Really?
Jason.
3 touchdowns?
Oh, yeah.
Jason.
Holy cow.
Washington has struggled against Arizona and Stanford.
Yeah.
Creates a major problem. And I just think Washington today is without one of their best receivers. So I'm going to the upset with USC.
How about that?
Boy, there's going to be some separation this week.
I think so. Ronnie?
I'm still going with Michael Penix and group. They played Stanford, right? The last game, and they put up almost 370 yards of offense, which I don't know why you would go against that if you just had 370 yards.
I don't either, Ronnie.
And
I like
we just
that
said
pick.
that they had a bad defense, right? In terms of who they're playing.
Bad.
Yeah.
Real bad. All right, so you're going Huskies. Andy?
Absolutely.
What about
USC.
you? Really?
Yes, indeed.
Why?
Right.
USC. This is going to be a scoring game. USC doesn't want to play defense today. They don't have to play defense today.
They don't have to play defense.
They
Okay.
just want-
USC wins this one.
49. That's how they like to play.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so a split on that one. How about Kentucky at Mississippi State, 6:30 in Starkville. State without Will Rogers, State without Woody Marks. Again, Kentucky a 3.5-point favorite. Ronnie, we'll start with you this time.
All right, State's a little beat-up team, and I just, after watching them last week, I'm just not convinced that they've bought in terms of players. I'm going with Kentucky.
Okay. The road team for Ronnie. Ronnie's gone with 3 road teams so far today. Paul, what about you?
Kentucky has been blown out 3 straight games. They are a beat-up team. State's a beat-up team with 2 big starters out on offense, but I think State will rediscover their defense against that beat-up Kentucky team. I'll go with the home dogs, the home dogs in Starkville.
All right, Paul going against Ronnie there, going with the home team. Andy, what about you?
Ronnie and I are aligned this week. I'm going to take Kentucky to win this one on the road.
You weren't on the last game, but you are on this one. Jason, what about you?
How many games back am I?
You're 1 game back.
1 game
Just
back.
1. This is a separation Saturday.
Well, I say this. Mississippi State today is honoring their 1998 team that went to the SEC championship against Tennessee.
Any of them playing?
My brother was actually on that team as one of the starting linebackers, so I was actually at a lot of their games back then.
That makes a difference.
So I think they're going to come out and play with a lot of intensity this week, and it's a night game in Start Vegas, so I'm going to go with the dogs at home.
All right.
You know, none of these players were born probably in 1998.
I hope not. That was 25 years ago.
Exactly. That's my point.
I got to catch up. I got to catch up here, though, Ronnie.
Yeah. All right. So he's chasing a little bit.
There, Jason.
1 game and 4 weeks to go, and he's chasing a little bit. All right. 6:45.
Like
number
just chasing.
13th ranked LSU, and number 8. What? Ronnie, what was the advice you gave me earlier today?
As your attorney, I advise you not to say anything.
Just move right along.
Yes.
13th ranked LSU, number 8 Alabama. Alabama, a 3-point favorite at home, so basically it's even, but they get 3 points for home. So Jason, we'll start with you this time.
Don't eat the rat poison. Don't drink the rat poison, as Saban would say. This is going to be a great game, man. I really think it'll be high scoring, but I'm going to go with Alabama. I think their defense is a little bit better than LSU.
All right, you like them in a high-scoring game. Andy, what do you think?
I think Alabama's defense is a lot better than LSU, and I think Alabama wins this game at home. I agree. I think this could be the premier game of the day.
All right, we have a little time here. We have about a minute and a half, so we can expound a little more if we want.
I don't
Paul?
want to.
Okay. Paul, what about you?
I don't want to expound on it, but I think Alabama will win this game. LSU is a great team with some tremendous individual stars at receiver and quarterback. The problem is, I think Alabama has more depth, and their defense is going to stifle LSU to the extent of holding them in maybe the high 20s, low 30s, and that'll be enough.
I don't think this LSU defense or offense has seen this kind of defense this season.
I don't think so either.
But has the Alabama defense seen an offense like LSU's?
I don't think it matters.
Okay. All right. Ronnie, we have not had a clean sweep yet. These first 3 guys have all taken Alabama. Are we going to get our first clean sweep, or are you going visitors?
No, I usually hear, like, when you do that yet thing, like when you watch him broadcast, and they say, he hasn't missed one yet, and then he misses that one. So guess what? We're in a situation like that. I'm picking Alabama, so we're going to go clean sweep.
Clean sweep. All of our guys like Alabama to win the game. Pick Alabama to win the game.
We went with head over heart in this one.
Yeah, understood. Definitely understand. All right, well, we're going to get a couple of more special guests in the second hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show. 1 from defense, 1 from offense. Roger McCreary, now with the Tennessee Titans. Jarus McIntyre, one of the great receivers at Auburn, coming up in the second hour here from Nashville as we count you down to Auburn and Vanderbilt, about 2 hours and 7 minutes away. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Thank you, Auburn, for over 40 years of business. Since day one at Guthrie's, we've been serving up the best golden fried chicken fingers, hand-chopped coleslaw, crinkle-cut fries, and our signature Guthrie sauce. Often imitated, never duplicated. We have 4 Auburn locations to serve you, including South College and our downtown location off East Glen Avenue, which is open until 3 a.m. every night. Fresh, hot, and fast. That's the Guthrie's promise. To find the nearest Guthrie's to you, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
War Eagle, it's a great day for Auburn Tigers to get vaccinated. Many children and adults that delayed vaccinations during the pandemic are still behind schedule.
It's crucial that we take steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations. Children and teens can still catch up on their vaccinations even if they start late. Make sure you and your family are all up to date on all recommended vaccines, including COVID-19 and flu. Let's all do our part to get back on track. Don't wait. Vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM.
By now, your daily routine is probably a little too routine. Don't you want to change? Don't you want to start playing by your own rules and escape the routine so your fantasy becomes reality? Where every night is an adventure, where new flavors are ready to be tasted, where it feels like you're a winner. Take a chance. Reward yourself. Make your routine anything but routine. Escape every day at Wind Creek Casino and windcreekcasino.com.
Damaging an underground utility can cause a lot more problems than you think. By causing a potentially avoidable damage to underground utilities, there's many scenarios that do not end well. To keep the gas, power, water, and internet running, using 811 to have your underground utilities marked is a critical piece of the damage prevention process, whether you're a homeowner or an excavator. It's free, it's simple, and it's the law. Visit al811.com for more information.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
All right, we'll use this 2-minute drill to check scores on the Yellowwood scoreboard in some one-score games throughout the SEC, including Auburn's next opponent, Arkansas, at the half. The Razorbacks and Florida are tied at 17. KJ Jefferson, 116 passing yards. Rocket Sanders has returned to the Arkansas lineup. He has 34 yards on the ground. 17-17, that score in Gainesville at the half. They're also at the half in Oxford, where number 10 Ole Miss leads Texas A&M by a touchdown. It's 20-14. The Rebels on their third score went for 2 and did not make it, and thus that's why they have 20. So 20-14, Ole Miss leads Texas A&M. Second half about to get underway in Oxford. They've gone to the half in Columbia, South Carolina, in the Battle of the Gamecocks. It was Carolina with a touchdown in the closing seconds of the first half to break on top of Jack State. 21-14. Spencer Rattler over 200 passing yards in the first half alone. South Carolina leads Jack State 21-14 at the half. They are about to start the second half in Knoxville, Tennessee. 17th ranked Vols all over UConn in non-conference action, 35-3. Joe Milton III, 254 yards through the air in the first half. Outside of the SEC, number 1 Ohio State trails Rutgers in Piscataway 9-7. Halftime there, and the Scarlet Knights with 3 field goals, they have the advantage. Meanwhile, a top 25 battle in Austin. 7th-ranked Texas leads number 23 Kansas State 17-7, and Clemson is all over number 15 Notre Dame 24-9. They're early in the third quarter in that contest. First hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show was brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Auburn Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Second hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show is coming up in 2 minutes. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
Get your game day started with the Auburn Sports Network and the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage. Paul Ellen, Brad Law, Andy Burcham, Ronnie Brown, Will Herring, and Jason Campbell bring the tailgate party to you. Breakdowns of the games from every angle, visits from former Tiger greats, and updates from around campus 3 hours before kickoff of every Auburn game. It's the biggest tailgate party on the radio. The Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Auburn Athletics, helping the world keep promising.
If SEC football runs deep in your veins, then Sirius XM SEC Radio is what you need to listen to. We're talking conference and team previews, plus hear live games, news, and analysis from experts like Chris Doering, Aaron Murray, and Max Starks. Go in-depth with your favorite team with coaches shows, championship specials, and more. Get inside SEC football like nowhere else. Feed your fandom on the Sirius XM app. Stay up to date anywhere you go. Just download the app and start streaming.
At Oslo USA, we're building ships that protect and defend our nation.
Building innovative ships requires innovative people. We're looking for Tiger fans to join the build. We offer 4 10-hour-day work schedules for our production employees, comprehensive benefits, and individualized training programs that make our dynamic workforce even stronger. Visit austeljobs.com to apply today and build a strong future. Austel USA. Innovative on land, exceptional at sea.
This is the Auburn Sports Network, and it's time for another hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage. Conecuh Sausage is the official sausage and hot dog of the Auburn Tigers. Straight ahead, more special guests and features, and a breakdown of the X's and O's as we move closer to kickoff. Here's Paul Ellen to start another hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show.
Well, it's shaping up to be a beautiful afternoon for football in the Music City. Sunny skies, very little wind, moderate temperatures, and a big crowd building on the streets outside. The Auburn Pep Band has already made their appearance, and they have taken their place inside. And oddly enough, 2 hours before game time, the officials have already made their appearance as they came through a tunnel from the hotel next door to the stadium. No locker room over on the east side of the stadium. In fact, there's no locker room on the west side either. The Auburn team dressing in temporary facilities that have been erected behind the west side of the stadium. Hey, Brick and Spoon is the place to be. Weekday or weekend, they've got something for everyone. Hearty breakfast, delicious burgers, and amazing Bloody Marys. Come enjoy what Brick and Spoon has to offer at 2836 Pepperell Parkway in Opelika. They can't wait to see you at the Brick. Well, Paul Ellen here with Andy Burcham, Jason Campbell, as we set the scene for Auburn against Vanderbilt. Hadn't played in 7 years. And let's revisit last week a little bit, Andy. The offensive line helped generate 416 yards of total offense, no sacks, and no quarterback hurries from last week. Easy to overlook the O-line, but easily the best performance by an Auburn offensive line maybe in 2 or 3 years.
I thought it was the best performance by Auburn, period, offensively last week. And it started up front, and it was impressive for me to watch Connor Lew get his first start and play as well. Now, listen, he has 2 6-year seniors on both sides of him, Cam Stutz and Gunnar Britton. Auburn was really good, and from the get-go last week. And, Peyton Thorne told us on Tiger Talk Thursday night that, the plays were coming into him, everyone seemed to be in sync last week. And it looked that way, Jason. It looked like Auburn was in sync from an offensive standpoint. I think that's as close to the Hugh Freeze, Philip Montgomery offense that we have seen from Auburn this season.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Andy. When you talk about last week's game, you mentioned Gunnar Britton, though. You also mentioned Cam Stutz. Those two guys are huge veterans on this team for sure. And Connor Lew leaned on those guys. You saw last week we got the run game going really good with Jarquez hitting it up in between the tackles and between those guards right there against the Mississippi State front, who had 2 of the best linebackers in the SEC. And we was able to still get push and get our run game going last week. But to me, the key was they got Peyton Thorne in a rhythm early. They was able to hit a quick out route. They was able to hit some quick hitches. They hit some quick stick routes by the tight ends. And you stayed on pace in the offense. And the one thing that happened is we didn't have negative plays on first down. That what has hurt us in a couple of weeks before. First down, we lose 4 or 5 yards. Now you're 2nd and 13, 2nd and 15. We didn't have that last week. And then we didn't have the huge holding penalties called against us last week. That was a key. So it wasn't a lot of opportunities for us to have to overcome negative. We was able to stay in the positive aspect of it when it came to our offense last week.
I asked Peyton Thorne about this. I'll ask you, Jason. When you are distributing the ball to multiple receivers, as he did last week, he had completions to 12 different receivers. One of those was taken away on the illegal man downfield.
And
but
that would have tied the Auburn record if he had gotten the 12th one.
And he said, I really didn't realize it during the game. It wasn't something that he was trying to keep aware of. But when you come out of a game like that and you have thrown to 8, 9, 10, 11 different receivers. What is your offense doing at that point?
Well, now you build confidence in everybody. Your receivers now expect to get the football. For a couple of weeks there, receivers was kind of last on offense as far as receiving the ball. Our running backs had more catches at certain times. So I think now when you're a receiver out there, you're lined up outside, and based off what we did last week, these guys now know, okay, I have to be ready at any time because the ball can come to me on any given play. So now it changes your mindset as a whole offense because now you got all your guys engaged and in tune. And that's what last week Lack talked about pregame was, guys, you got to start playing for each other, serve each other. But he also mentioned quarterback, play with confidence. You can kind of control the emotions of your offense based off how you look in that huddle when those guys look at you. So I think from a standpoint of Peyton going out playing a really good game, and we were efficient. We were efficient last week. I think it helped on third downs.
And for the second straight week, we saw what Jarquez Hunter can do in the backfield for Auburn. 91 yards.
That's directly related to Connor Lew being the freshman of the week and Gunnar Britton being the offensive lineman of the week, because so many of those yards came up the middle of the line.
Well, including his last run, that 53-yarder that put him over 100 yards. That was between those three guys up front. But we're starting, and let's hope that is the trend that we see from Jarquez for the rest of this season. 91 2 weeks ago against Ole Miss, 141 yards. It's the second largest rushing game in his career.
114 yards after contact.
Absolutely.
That's very encouraging as well.
If he continues that trend for this Auburn offense, I love the Tigers' chances down the stretch of this season.
I think Jarquez is just now getting into football shape. Honestly, I think the Ole Miss game is kind of where he kind of started hitting his strides, because you got to think he missed so much time. And I don't care what anybody say. You can work out, do all the things you want to do on your own, but it's nothing like being in the grass with your teammates and being out there on that football field doing football type stuff. So I feel like for him, he's just now hitting his strides. I think the best for him is these next 4 games down the season. I think we're going to see a really good Jarquez, like you saw against Mississippi State and Ole Miss.
We mentioned Auburn fairly healthy here, and on the defensive side, that's big. They've gotten back a couple of guys who were starters or in the regular rotation. Auburn is number 1 in red zone stops, but number 3 in turnover margin. And Andy Auburn has forced 14 turnovers. That leads the conference. That has been big for this team. The 10 interceptions especially big.
And it's not just Jalen Simpson anymore with the interceptions. Last week, of course, it was Zion Puckett there at the 5-yard line. Getting Keontae Scott and Austin Keys back, I just don't think that we can overestimate how much that has helped this team, not only from a depth perspective, but from a talent perspective, from a variety perspective, because Scott can play both the safety. He's also a great cover guy, and Keys gives you some depth, much-needed depth at the linebacker spot right now.
Auburn has forced a turnover in 17 straight games and already forced more turnovers than entirely through the year last year. That's been a factor for Auburn because really from a depth standpoint, Auburn doesn't match up with the top teams in the league depth-wise, but you can balance that out if you get a couple of turnovers.
But don't you think, listen, going into this season, Auburn's veteran group with those guys in the secondary. And they're playing like that right now. And they've become ball hawks in the secondary, and it is certainly helping this ball club.
Now, Jason, how that works out today, Vanderbilt has 39 passes of 20 yards or more. They lead the conference in big plays passing. Their running game has not been good at all. It's been bad. They're last there, but they like to throw it down the field. They do have a couple of quarterbacks who will stick their nose in there and run it when they need to.
Yeah, Vanderbilt's kind of been a little inept when it came to the offense this year because Swan was supposed to be the guy for them, and then he got kind of nicked up a little bit, and then they went to Seals, who's a senior, so he has experience. And, Seals done pretty well. He has 8 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions. But then you talk about a guy like, the Walter kid who's huge. Walter Taylor, 6'7", 235 pounds, was a 4-star quarterback coming out of Jackson High School. So I think for Auburn, you just play your defense. You're not sure who's going to line up behind center today, Andy, so you want to get
both. I think you're going to see both of them.
Yeah, so you don't want to confuse yourself. Like you said, our secondary has been ball hawks, getting 10 interceptions this year. Vanderbilt defense has also had 10 interceptions this year. So it's almost a 1-in-1 thing when it comes to turnovers.
All right, the Auburn Tigers are on the field. The Tiger Walk, a very good one, coming in Nashville with a lot of Auburn fans out there. They are circling up around the 10-yard line on the north end of the field. You may have heard the Auburn band playing as they came out on the field. The Tiger Walk Report presented by the Alabama Department of Public Health. They remind you Don't wait. Vaccinate. Protect yourself and others by staying current on all recommended vaccines, including COVID and flu. Visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM. Stay with us. Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
The Whataburger Sweet and Spicy Bacon Burger is an all-time favorite. It brings so many flavors together in harmony, you might wonder if it's greater than the sum of its parts. It's got 2 all-beef patties, both of which fantastic. Crispy bacon, love that. Grilled onions, melty cheese. I mean, who would say no? And sweet and spicy pepper sauce. Yes, please. I guess we're kind of partial to every part. The Sweet and Spicy Bacon Burger from Whataburger, just like you like it.
Auburn Bank presents Championship Moments.
Auburn's final road test in 2013 came on Rocky Top, with the game tied at 13 early in the second quarter. A big special teams play ignited the team.
High kick that will turn over. Davis takes it. No, he dropped it. The 15, but he picks it back up. 20, running left 25, far sideline 30, 40 to the 50. Down the far sideline 40, still on his feet, got blockers in front. He's got to go all the way. Touchdown!
From that point, the Tigers never trailed. Auburn won the game 55-23. Running back Trey Mason went over the 1,000-yard mark for the season, and the 55 points were the most ever by the Tigers against Tennessee. Auburn improved to 9-1 on the season, with Georgia up next. I'm Jacob Hillman, and this has been another championship moment presented by Auburn Bank, champions of youth.
1907. Auburn had no paved roads, no local newspaper, a few automobiles, very little electricity or indoor plumbing, and one bank, Auburn Bank. For all these years, we've had a part in shaping and serving Auburn, Opelika, and East Alabama, a steadfast partner to our customers, meeting financial needs at just the right times. How do we know our community so well? Because we've grown up together. Auburn Bank, champions of you. Member FDIC, online at auburnbank.com.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Paul Allen back with Andy Burcham. This week we had the Big Ten announce their schedule for next year with 16 teams, and it was kind of a convoluted schedule, not a lot of natural rivalries preserved there. The SEC, the only one of the Big Four conferences that has not announced schedules. They know who each team is going to play, but not exactly when. And they know where for the most part. Oklahoma will be coming to Jordan-Hare Stadium. But, Andy, last year of divisions, SEC going to stay with the 8-team rotation for now. What are your thoughts on the scheduling situation?
Well, we're going to see a 9-team schedule, I think,
eventually,
at some point. I think when that is worked out between the SEC and ESPN. I am not as worried about not having divisions as some are. Remember, I mean, this has only been recent that there have been divisions in football in the Southeastern Conference. And some sports in the league have gone away from divisions already. So I don't think that's as much of a deal. I think the biggest concern is Auburn still going to play Alabama? Is Auburn still going to play Georgia? And I think that is a bit tenuous moving forward on a year-by-year basis.
It's going to be hard to keep two rivalries with a given school. And I think they found out a few years ago when the Big 12 dropped divisions, you can get a better matchup. Yeah. They're not going to drop championship games.
I think it's going to be a little more even in the scheduling without the divisions than it was before.
Yeah. And some things to look forward to. Like we say, we know Oklahoma will be paying their first visit to Jordan-Hare Stadium next year, and we know we'll play Alabama in Tuscaloosa most likely. But that is about all we know on the scheduling. And that is a 2-minute drill. So we're counting it down from Nashville. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
Get your game day started with the CB&S Bank Countdown to Tip-Off on the Auburn Sports Network. 30 minutes before each Auburn basketball game. Get a breakdown of the matchups, player profiles, a 60-second scout of the opponent, SEC report, and our exclusive pregame interview with head coach Bruce Pearl. CB&S Bank has been family, community, and financially strong since 1906. The CB&S Bank Countdown to Tip-Off, only on the Auburn Sports Network.
With Vizzy's vibrant dual flavors, the vibe is yours to decide.
I'm thinking Vizzy Refreshingly Berry. A round of blackberry lemon at the bar?
Could be good. Maybe Vizzy Vibrantly Tropical.
You always say vibrantly tropical.
Come on, a cooler full of papaya passion fruit on the beach?
Oh yeah, that's a vibe. I'm down.
Vizzy Hard Seltzer. Flavor for every vibe. Naturally flavored with other natural flavors. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Molson Coors Beverage Company. Milwaukee, Wisconsin flavored beer.
Yellowwood knows that a 5-star backyard is the place to make lasting memories. Like cookouts. Cornhole with friends. Ooh, a neighborhood potluck with your wife's pasta salad. The one with the feta. Oh, sorry. Or taking a nap on your deck in a hammock. Naps are memories. I love naps. For 5-star backyards and the most memorable experiences, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have that yellow tag, you don't want it.
What widens the eyes, tightens the stomach, and flutters the heart. Adrenaline. Feel it for yourself in the Toyota RAV4, Camry, Corolla, and Tacoma. Lease a new 2023 Toyota RAV4 LE for $319 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid through December 5th, 2023. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. 3618 due at signing. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fee. See dealer for details.
And welcome back to the Tiger Tailgate Show. We're counting it down to Auburn against Vanderbilt from here in Music City. Paul Ellen with you along with Andy Burcham and Jason Campbell, and we're happy to welcome a very special guest who is now a Nashville resident. Roger McCreary going to join us, second-round draft choice of the Tennessee Titans in last year's NFL draft, second year with the Tennessee Titans. Of course, Roger, All-America, AP, had 135 tackles, 6 interceptions, and a lot of other stats that we're not going to use his whole time to talk about. But regardless to say, Roger, a very, very good defensive back for the Tigers. Roger, War Eagle, and thanks for being with us today.
The War Eagle, thanks for having me.
How you liking Nashville?
Oh, I love Nashville. It's great out here. You know, it's a big city. We have Broadway. We have a lot of guys, a lot of people coming from out of town. I feel like it's just great to see like a lot of people around here.
Roger, this is Andy Burcham. If you would, what was the biggest adjustment for you going from the college game to the NFL?
Oh, I would say the biggest adjustment from college to NFL is like the game speed. I say the game speed is way more faster in the league. Like it's more mental. I say 70% mental and 30% physical. I would say it's all about like playing fast, just playing smart in the league.
Hey, Roger, this is Jason here, man. Good to talk to you again. It's been a minute. Roger, here. Yeah, I'm sitting by Big Head Ronnie Brown right now as well. But, hey, Roger, let's talk about, man. I know you had a chance to watch this Auburn defense this year. You know, secondary has kind of been, these guys have been really good together this year. You know, they got 10 interceptions, and as a whole, they're doing outstanding. Have you had much opportunity to see them, and what do you think about the corners and the guys that we have this year?
Oh, yeah, the guys in the back end, them the guys that was there when I was there. They had guys like Sim, Nehemiah, DK, and Zion. Them guys was there when I was there, and I felt like they're doing good. Got up to the standard with the picks and everything. And it looked like they're comfortable back there, like they're having fun just together, especially with being coached by Coach E and Coach Prime and everything. And now they added DJ from my city, so I always knew him growing up. And he's just another guy to add on to the back end. I feel like they're doing great as a DB.
Jalen Simpson, the first guy out on the field for Auburn, loosening up. He is not wasting any time since he came back. Roger, we wanted to get you on this segment with Jason because we wanted two people who knew the most about interceptions. You mentioned that the speed of the game was your biggest adjustment to make. But talk about that in a little more depth as to what, sorry, Jason, in a little more depth about the kind of adjustments you had to make, because speed was not the only issue. Those receivers are a little bit different when you get to the league.
Oh, yeah, I'll say that's way different. I say from week in to week out, like there's different types of receivers. Like it's crazy, but playing the SEC, I feel like that prepared me a lot for the receivers in the league. And I just feel like it's going to be great just going on to the future playing these other great guys.
Roger, you still have the pregame ritual of baked beans as your pregame meal?
I I'm going to admit, I slowed down a little bit from the baked beans like I did from college. I feel like I had to focus on eating a little bit more healthy. But I eat the beans every now and then, though.
Good for you.
Hey, Roger, you're downtown Nashville, man. But I got a serious question for you. But first, let me just ask you this one. I'm in Nashville. I'm downtown. What's a good steakhouse or seafood spot I should go to?
Oh, best steak? You got to go to Bourbon.
Okay.
They took me down my rookie night for Bourbon. It's the most, best food, great food ever. I feel like it's great to eat at Bourbon.
Okay. Appreciate that tidbit. Now to my next question. I know Paul said interception. I didn't throw many interceptions at Auburn. I'm probably in the
I meant that as a compliment, Jason.
Yes, as a compliment. So I just want to make sure that the fans knew what he was implementing right there. Protecting the football at all costs. So when you play against DK Metcalf and you play against A.J. Brown, who was at Tennessee, then he was traded to Philadelphia. When you play against these big receivers, you talk about DJ James. People talk about him, his size, and and then you got Nehemiah Pritchett, those guys. How do you prepare when you're facing big receivers? Because you're still able to get your hand on ball, you're still able to get interceptions. How do you defend these bigger guys nowadays from that receiver position?
I say the guys, the big receivers like that and everything, you just have to be more physical. We're going to get some big receivers and, speedy receivers. You got to, I say, be more quick on your feet, I would say. So it's just about always knowing your receivers. And I feel like the corners we got, like DJ, I feel like that's my physical guy. He's the one that likes to talk trash. And I feel like he loves going to get some big receivers and guys and stuff because he's more physical. And like Nehemiah, he got one of the quickest feet I ever known or seen. And I feel like he's just great, move with his feet, and he more arms, neck, just using his feet, I feel like.
Yeah.
Roger, what is it about the college game that you miss the most?
I got to say, I miss Jordan Hare. I just missed the stadium. I went to the Ole Miss game. I missed it. It was fun. Just the atmosphere, the fans. I feel like it's way different from the league. I feel like the fans in college, they're more electric, they're more loud, I would say.
Is there a game in your college experience or maybe even off the field? What are your best memories of being a college football player?
A college football player?
Yeah, your best memories of playing at Auburn.
I feel like my best memory, that's one playing at Jordan Hare, and the other one is the toilet tissue on Toomer's Corner. That was one of the best traditions I did on my visit there, and actually doing it after a game, I feel that's one of the best memories there.
Did you ever get up and get to do that after a game? Get down there?
Oh, yeah, one time. I went straight to Toomer's Corner after a win one time. I think it was after the Ole Miss. Last year, Ole Miss.
Roger, you didn't get NIL money when you was at Auburn, I don't suppose, right?
Nah, I did it for that.
Yeah, so you had to take a lot of your rookie money and on that rookie dinner. How much was your rookie dinner? I remember what mine was. How much was your rookie dinner?
I think I kind of got a little easy. They kind of took a little easy on me. It was $18,000.
Whoa!
My. Woo. How did you feel when you saw that bill? It was just like, hey, here it is. And that's without the tip. I'm supposing. Was the tip already included?
Tell you the truth, there is tip. That check was the only thing that took me off the whole thing. I didn't spend the tip for nothing, really. He kind of caught me off guard. I was surprised just from the 18. I forgot about the tip.
A little unprepared for the rookie dinner, the $18,000 tab.
My
there.
goodness.
Hey, Roger, we thank you for being with us. We hope you continue to enjoy Nashville, and we hope we see you in Auburn on a regular basis when you get a weekend off. But thank you for taking time to be with us here, and continued success in your NFL career, Roger.
Thanks for having me.
War Eagle.
War Eagle, Roger.
War Eagle.
As former Tiger All-America Roger McCreary. Hey, everyone's a winner with the Jax app. Every time you order your handmade favorites, you'll earn big points. It's the app that loves you back with daily deals and loads of delicious rewards. Download the Jax app today and eat at Jax.com. More Tigers coming out. Some of the kickers and special teamers out on the field here at Vanderbilt Stadium. The fans starting to file in. A lot of orange in the stands today over on the east side on a beautiful day for football. Stay with us. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Thinking of medical school? Edward Via College of Osteopathic Medicine in Auburn has award-winning medical education and research programs. VCOM partners with Auburn University for student activities, research, and sports medicine physicians to care for Tiger athletes. VCOM is providing tomorrow's physicians for Auburn and the surrounding communities. Find out more at vcom.edu. That's vcom.edu.
Hey Auburn fans, it's time to stretch those legs and reach for another bag of Golden Flake. Home or away, with family or friends, you know no game day is complete without your favorite snack. So enjoy Golden Flake or any of our other delicious snacks from the Utz family of brands and sit back for the rest of the game. Golden Flake in Auburn football, a winning team. Simple Southern goodness, Golden Flake. Celebrating 66 years as the official salty snack of the Auburn Tigers.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Every team has great athletes, but the ones that come together and have each other's back win the rings. I am Kenny Mullins for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 613, and we are Auburn's electricians. We're a group of over 5,000 highly trained electrical workers who have each other's back every day. We train together, work together, and look out for each other. If you're an electrical worker, come work with people that have your back. Join us at IBEW613.org, War Eagle.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Time for a quick check of the Yellowwood scoreboard. Ohio State having their way with Rutgers in the second half, and that's good. Rutgers gave them a fit in the first half, but it's 14-9. The number 1 ranked Buckeyes lead that one. Number 7, Texas beating number 23 Kansas State 27-7. 10 points in the third quarter as Texas tries to pull away. Ole Miss, the 10th-ranked Rebels, putting it on Texas A&M right now. They are late in the third quarter, a 2-touchdown lead for the Rebels, 28-14, as they just scored and converted the 2-point conversion. Clemson got out to a good lead on Notre Dame, the 15th-ranked Irish, trying to make a third-quarter comeback, 31-23. Clemson still leads as they play late in the third quarter there. Tennessee is all over UConn. They scored on the second play of the game. They now lead at 56-3 as they play middle of the third quarter on the banks of the Tennessee River. Well, Auburn's next opponent, Arkansas, serving notice that the Tigers better pay attention this week in preparation. The Hogs have gone into Gainesville and they lead Florida 20-17 midway through the third quarter. It's been a back-and-forth game after Arkansas got out to a quick 14-0 lead. Indiana still leading Wisconsin 17-14 as they play in Bloomington. Michigan State leads Nebraska 13-10. Big game there. And the battle of the Gamecocks going on in Columbia, South Carolina. And Rich Rod has proven he can put points on the board. Jacksonville State has come out and scored early in the third quarter. It is 21-21. Jacksonville State and South Carolina all tied up. North Carolina leads Campbell 42-7 as the Tar Heels trying to get things rolling again. That's a look at the Yellowwood scoreboard, and this is the Auburn Sports Network from PlayFly.
When we say we're an everything school, we mean it. Auburn University isn't just home to the best athletics program in the nation, it's also home to the best student-centered engineering experience in America. And that's not just a slogan, it's a promise. The Samuel Ginn College of Engineering ranks as the top engineering college in the state of Alabama, while also ranking as one of the best public engineering colleges in the nation. Tomorrow's leaders, innovators, and world changers begin at the Ginn College of Engineering. Visit today, eng.auburn.edu.
Hey parents and kids, it's a perfect time for students to read their way to the Iron Bowl in AEA's Be a Champion and Read contest.
AEA wants to help K through 6th grade students to be academic champions, just like the Auburn Tigers.
Students who participate in the Be a Champion and Read challenge could win 3 tickets to the Iron Bowl and a chance to take the field on game day. Ask your teacher about contest rules.
Encourage your child to be an AEA champion reader and win a trip to the Iron Bowl.
How are you the ultimate Auburn fan? Because I got this air horn installed in my throat. Pretty sick, right? Yes, you look really sick. What doctor would even do this? Doctor? I did this myself. I mean, I can't swallow whole food, but still. Wait, what? Just gotta plow through it. Hey, can I get a couple of soups up there? What about some chamomile tea? Don't be that guy. Get a fan card. The smart way to be the ultimate Tigers fan. Just go to auburncards.com.
The Houston Clinic would like to welcome Dr. Brad Young, the newest addition to our team of experienced medical professionals at Auburn's Houston Clinic. Specializing in joint replacements, sports medicine, and arthroscopic surgery, Dr. Young has treated athletes and worked with sports teams from middle and high school to college and professional teams. Call now to schedule your evaluation. Houston Clinic. Research, education, treatment. Houston.com.
Back on the Tiger Tailgate Show, a good bit of orange in the stands already here at Vanderbilt's football stadium. Brad Law with Ronnie Brown, and we're going to talk to one of the great receivers at Auburn, Jarus McIntyre, after I remind you that if you're looking for an easy, seamless transition to Auburn University, consider Southern Union State Community College. Conveniently located just a few miles from Auburn, Southern Union offers classes that easily transfer to the university. Endless opportunities are right up the road. All right, Ronnie B., we're going to talk to a teammate of yours now, Jarus McIntyre, great Auburn receiver, joins us now. Jeris, welcome. War Eagle, thanks for being with us today.
How you doing, War Eagle?
War Eagle, we appreciate it. We're back in a place, Jeris, where you had a terrific game some 20 years. I can't believe it's been 20 years. I don't know if it seems like 20 to you, but not just the first touchdown of the 2003 season, but you went over 100 yards, 2 touchdown catches that day against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, it's 20 years seems kind of ridiculous stuff, but it was a while ago. It's a moment. I think it's always revert back and look back at that moment as a big turning point, to help my career, to help the Auburn football team and the Auburn football family.
J-Mac, 20 years, boy, you getting old. As we talk about that day, up here in Vanderbilt, let's go back a little bit before that. I think that season we were preseason ranked number 1, if I'm not mistaken. What was your thoughts the weeks prior to that and then coming into Vanderbilt? Like, I know in the locker room the discussion was a little bit different. What were your thoughts coming into, from the beginning of that season?
Yeah, man. Obviously, we had high expectations. Great back himself, Cadillac, Brandon Jacobs played football on that team, a lot of good receivers. And with the expectations being so high, unfortunately, we didn't start off strong. But I think Vanderbilt was kind of the game where we broke out a little bit and showed the team that we were expected to be that season, and I think kind of propelled us to a decent season on to the next season for you guys to be a undefeated team, and I would say the national champion. So I think that Vanderbilt game just 4 years ago was very, very important. And, the turning point, not only for myself in making that play, but I just think that season and helping you guys for that 04 season.
Jeris, your guys definitely laid foundations throughout your career. I mean, your freshman year, the team won the SEC West, and you started against Alabama that year. Describe, if you will, the recruiting process for you and why Auburn with a first or second year head coach. 2000 was just Coach Tuberville's second season. Why that transition and why the time was right and why Auburn was the right fit for you?
I think the main thing, Auburn was school I always wanted to go to. My father, a lot of people know that he was the all-time leading rusher there before a lot of the other great running backs came to Auburn. So Auburn was the school that I always wanted to go to. I never really told them that. And when I had that opportunity with Coach Tuberville and his new staff coming in, and you know, it was really a dream come true. And it was someone that I wanted to be, and I'm glad that I picked that school. And looking back at, obviously things could have, been for the better when it comes to production and us throwing the ball a little more. But we had great backs that I wouldn't change it for the world. I met a lot of great people like Ronnie Brown, Jason Campbell, and a lot of Auburn family that are still around Auburn, Cadillac, those guys. So, like I said, part of it was I've been always wanting to go there. Another part of it was them losing some receivers the previous year and having the opportunity to come in and play. You're at home.
Yeah. So, Jeris, talking about, that transition from Tampa Catholic to Auburn University, being legacy, being a part of Coach Tuberville's first recruiting class to Auburn University. In high school, you played a little bit of a different position, right? You played a little running back, so coming in as a receiver, and I saw Coach Knox last week. Talk about, I think that relationship and, I think the way that you approach the game, being, legacy football player, I even transition to what you're doing now. Talk a little bit about, your transition from Tampa Catholic to Auburn University.
Yeah, it was a different transition. Obviously, when you get to college and there's a lot of guys from all over the country, it's going to be a transition. I think myself playing running back helped me a little bit, from the physicality part of being a receiver, just the run after catch ability and things of that nature. But it was definitely a transition when it came to the physical conditioning with Coach Young and the way Coach Knox coached us in the receiver role. It was a transition, but I really do think it was for the best of all of us. Just the way we were able to come up through the program. It helped the transition because it was kind of a no-nonsense, everybody go to work environment. And I kind of said before, I was glad that I picked Auburn. And
yeah, and as you talk about sorry about that. So as you talk about transitions, like you transitioned from, obviously collegiate athlete, played with Kansas City, but in terms of transition into what you're doing now as a head football coach down at Tampa Catholic, your alma mater, like talk about mindset, what you learned through those days at Auburn, and now we hear so much about it in terms of the mindset of these young men. Talk about how your experiences as a player helps you in being the head coach of a football team now.
Yeah. So many different things when it comes to just the preparation weekly of opponents, knowing kind of what a lot of these young men are thinking or what they're going through. Those would be the main two things I would say help me in the preparation and being in different places in the NFL, playing in college, playing in the CFL, just knowing the way different coaches prepare. And I guess the next thing is mentally, where the guys are mentally when it comes to high school kids trying to get recruited, or what a high school kid is thinking throughout the week. The process of information, whether it's on the school side or the athletic side, just a lot of those things. Having been a player and then go to the NFL, high school like Auburn, and has helped me translate that to a lot of these kids right now when it comes to the everyday life of being a student athlete, especially at a school like Tampa Catholic that is very, strict on academics. Having been through it, I know what they're going through. So a lot of times, a lot of days, I can help guide them, whether it be on or off the field.
And you got one of our college teammates sharing those duties with you down at Tampa Catholic, right?
Say it again, Ronnie. I'm sorry.
I said, you also got one of our former teammates down at Tampa Catholic helping you out with those duties as well, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dr. Darius Thomas is coaching my linebackers, coaching them up. So he's doing a really, really good job with those guys. Got a young group, but he's helping develop them, and I'm glad he is down here helping back. And from what I see, he can do it at the next level and beyond from the way he is with attention to detail and just the way he motivates you.
Jeris, a lot of memorable games during your time at Auburn, those early 2000s season. Is there one game, obviously the Go Crazy Cadillac, and you're there running alongside Carnell for the first play against Alabama, and you've talked about that a lot, and your game here in Nashville. Is there one that stands out among all the others? If you had to single out maybe a top game from your time at Auburn, what would it be?
That's tough. That's tough. Those two you just mentioned, I would say, are 1A, 1B with the Vandy just having a breakout game there in 1A. I know you said one game, but I'm thinking about three. I know the Go Crazy game, which was my last Iron Bowl. It was the first play of the Iron Bowl. That was another one. I would think the third one that's a little underrated. When we beat Florida, I think it was in 01. Duval won the game-winning field goal. You know, being a Florida boy and playing Florida injured hair, and I think they were ranked 1 or 2. We knocked them off. We had a lot of guys hurt. I want to say Ronnie. I don't even know if Ronnie played that game, but we had a lot of guys hurt, and we were able to pull it off and beat those guys in the swamp when nobody gave us a chance. I would say that would be a memorable game that I always remember and think about, that's kind of underrated on the list.
That's a good one, and you had a first down catch on that last game-winning drive, too. All right.
Last drive, yeah.
Jeris, we appreciate your time very much. We're going to plug the Talking Tigers podcast where you talk to Andy a little more in-depth, and we had a little more time with you that day. It's a great podcast, and we invite people to go listen to it. We appreciate you joining us today. Best of luck to you the rest of the way. We'll catch up again soon.
Yes, I appreciate it.
All right, War Eagle. Auburn wide receiver Jarus McIntyre, now the head coach down at the prestigious Tampa Catholic High School. When we come back, Ronnie and I break down some of the matchups in this game. Both teams have some representatives down on the field, special teams going through some warm-ups on this sunny day in Nashville. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Some people just know that a perfect football field is all about the details. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate. Take the head groundskeeper, for example.
Hands at 10 and 2. 90-degree turns, perfect stripes every time.
He knows, because he's done this 100 times. Just like he knows that paying attention on the road can save safe drivers 40% with Allstate.
Saving 40% is based on the national average premium savings for Allstate auto customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and based on how you buy. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
How Far Do They Drive is presented by your local Toyota dealer. No matter your destination, Toyota goes with you. Leading Mississippi State 17-3 last week, Auburn got the ball with just 1:14 to go before halftime. Aiden Thorne used a quick passing game to drive the Tigers inside the Bulldogs' 10-yard line. He then went back to the air to finish the drive.
Double wide receivers right and left. Cobb flanks Thorne. 2nd and 1 from the state 7-yard line. Thorne drops, looks, floats it. Cobb has it! Touchdown! Jeremiah Cobb! A 7-yard strike from Thorne, who threw it perfectly. Touchdown, Auburn!
The drive covered 68 yards in 8 plays and gave the Tigers a 24-3 halftime lead. They went on to win the game 27-13. Visit your local Toyota dealers or explore Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
Things we take for granted, ordinary opportunities for parents and their children, can be a foster child's extraordinary. You have the power to do something positive that will change the life of a young person right here in Alabama. Open your heart and open your home to a foster child today. For more information, visit www.dhr.alabama.gov or call 1-866-64-AL-KIDS. Brought to you by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Brad Law, Ronnie Brown from Nashville, and in this 2-minute drill, Ronnie, we're going to educate folks a little bit about a 4-3 defense. That's what Vanderbilt runs. 4 down linemen. And they're all, I mean, they have a junior in Devin Lee. The other 3 that start are graduate seniors. They're grad players for Vanderbilt. So a seasoned and experienced line. What are the strengths that a 4-man front give you, and what are the areas that you can expose against a 4-3 defense?
Well, I think when you talk about 4-3 defense, one, you got 4 down linemen in front of 3 stand-up linebackers. The middle linebacker being usually the bigger of those, and he's the quarterback of the defense. And he tells and communicates where guys should line up, any adjustments that need to be made. So he'll be the quarterback of that defensive side. But when you're looking at it, you know, the strengths of it, a lot of times those guys will have gap integrity. And they're trying to keep the guys from getting up on the linebackers, meaning trying to keep the offensive linemen from getting to the second level and blocking those linebackers. A lot of times the offensive line, they may have some combo blocks, meaning 2 guys on one and one of the guys leading up to the linebacker. And so what that does versus the 3-4, 3-4, the nose man, the defensive nose tackle is the guy. He has to be at Hoss. But in the 4-3 set, it kind of gives everyone a gap that they're responsible for, and that guy doesn't have to be as good. And so as you approach it, you know, you try to be, as a running back, it's our goal to try to set those lanes because we know where we're trying to go and help those blocks with those with those linemen, and trying to set the blocks of keeping the linebackers either front side or back side wherever we're trying to get to.
And that gives you a little more info. That was well done and well taught in a timely manner as well. Vanderbilt middle linebacker, by the way, Ethan Barr, 6'3", 245, making his 36th career start here today. More matchups next. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
When Auburn football hits the half, keep it locked on the Auburn Sports Network for the Truckworks Halftime Report. Paul Ellen takes the driver's seat and delivers stats, scores, highlights, and analysis from the first 30 minutes. Plus, an on-field interview with head coach Hugh Freeze, getting you ready for the rest of the game. The Truckworks Halftime Report on the Auburn Sports Network.
In football, it's important to call the right play. In life, it can be even more important to make the right call, especially regarding termite protection. To protect my home, I called Cook's Pest Control and got the Centricon system. You don't have to live with termites. For a free quote, make the right call. Cook's Pest Control and the Centricon system.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
The game has changed, and the future of Auburn athletics now demands a strong NIL program. I'm Jason Campbell. Let's come together, Auburn family, and make a lasting impact. Visit OnToVictory.com. Every dollar you contribute to On to Victory helps create NIL opportunities for our student athletes. Visit www.ontovictory.com and be a part of changing the game for Auburn athletics.
Back on the Tiger Tailgate Show, Brad Law, Ronnie Brown. We are talking matchups ahead of Auburn and Vanderbilt, about an hour and 14 minutes away from kickoff here. And against this 4-3 defense that we just talked about in the 2-minute drill, running the ball is going to be key. And the guys already talked a little bit about Jarquez Hunter and how he is really rounding into form. And we've seen out of the last 2 weeks, 52% of his rushing yards have come in the last 2 games. He's looked much more confident, much more comfortable, and be interesting to watch him out there today.
Yeah, and as an offensive coordinator, that's what you want to look. You know, that's a good sign. That's what you look for in terms of him being more comfortable, you know, pressing the hole a little bit last week. His patience, we saw a couple runs where, you know, he waited a little bit back there and came out of the pack. And so when you talk about him getting in the red, from how much that helps your offense and take some of that pressure off of Peyton Thorne, and then Peyton Thorne seemed to be a little bit more comfortable. And so you be able to pair those two things together and start looking at a balanced attack.
attack, then that just helps everyone. And then for him to be able to switch in with a few other guys to share that load, I think that's helpful at this point of the season as well, in terms of just touches and carries and not getting, too much contact or getting beat up a little bit too much and being the strength of, getting towards the end of the season. That was the thing that was so helpful for Carnell and I. Like, we were being able to split carries. So at the end of the year, the end of games, we were just as fresh. And so, barring everyone stays healthy, that's one of the benefits of being able to share, or be a running back by committee approach with him being the number one guy to kind of start that approach or that attack. But, it's good to see him coming into form, seeing him get comfortable. It's a new offense as well. So when you think about all of those things and getting adjusted and being a little bit late, coming out of camp and missing the first game. So timing of that is great. And then talk about the 4-3 defense, what he was able to do last week and being able to build on that and having, a really successful game for the season for him, being able to have that confidence coming into the game. I think that's going to be big. And the more comfortable he gets, and being able to he's a strong guy. He can wear the defense down a little bit, and then you mix it up with a Batee and, some Damari and mixing all the guys in, it puts a long day on this Vanderbilt defense.
Let's talk receivers and defensive backs. Auburn receivers, and Jay Fair got a touchdown, or Javarius Johnson with a touchdown last week. Shane Hooks caught a touchdown pass last week. Vanderbilt starting corners, Trudell Berry, 6'1", 184, a sophomore. Tyson Russell, 5'11", 185, a junior. You'd like to think maybe some of those bigger wide receivers could have an edge there today. And at the safety spots, Jalen Mahoney, 5'11", 200, and DeRicky Wright from Gadsden, 6'4", 217, a bigger safety, kind of backing things up there for Vandy.
Yeah, and I think like Coach Freeze said, like coming into this game, it was a great thing for the receivers. Like, for them to get some touches, they made some plays. And so establishing that continuity with their quarterback is really good. I think it allows Peyton to continue to, get comfortable as the quarterback, as the signal caller. And then you talk about some of those 50-50 balls, the Shane Hooks. This is where those guys, that can have an opportunity to be effective in this game and getting that confidence. The Camden Browns, the bigger body guys that can, make some of those contested catches, and then also being able to slide a Jay Fair and, throw some of those deeper routes where you connected on a couple of those last week against Mississippi State football team. And so confidence goes a long way, in this game, and especially, I was just looking as I look in the stands, it looks like a destination game in terms of, like, that's what I call it with destination parenting. People say vacation.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I take my kids with me, so it's more of a destination parenting thing. The stands look pretty much dominated by the Auburn, orange and blue. And so, and as you look at those things, you get able to get the team on your side and get some of that excitement. Then that also goes into the motivation of your football team. And, I think trying to capture some of that intensity of having the home crowd behind you.
Yeah, Nashville being as close as it is to Auburn, 5 hours from Auburn, is not that far at all, and even closer from other places. The Picks for Kids program is back for its 12th season. Chick-fil-A donating $1,000 to Children's of Alabama for every interception by the Tigers. The Picks for Kids program benefits nearly 2,000 kids each month in the Hearing and Speech Center at Children's. So War Eagle and Eat More Chicken. That defensive backfield really has become a strength. And if Auburn can make Vanderbilt one-dimensional, and Vandy has struggled to run the ball, but you still, don't you, Ronnie, have to make the focus stopping the run, because then that impacts what they're doing. It limits your play calling. It limits what you can do offensively when you're one-dimensional. And even if their strength is throwing the ball, you force them into predictable passing situations, which then gives you the strength of your defense. The secondary kind of puts them in the spotlight.
Yeah, that's going to be really important, especially, understanding this game always starts in the trenches. Like, the impact of the game, especially on the collegiate level, it's really important to control the line of scrimmage and hopefully spend more time on their side of the line of scrimmage, because, as you mentioned, making them one-dimensional, it forces a struggling Ken Seals into an uncomfortable situation, and who knows what happens with that. And so now you're playing to the strength of the defense. This Auburn football team has established a way in getting the football and getting turnovers, and so now you play into that strength.
Appreciate you very much. Look forward to hearing from you down on the field.
Thank you. Look forward to it. War Eagle.
That's Ronnie Brown, War Eagle. That'll do it for the Tiger Tailgate Show presented by Conecuh Sausage. Thanks to our guests, Jarus McIntyre, Roger McCreary, and Cooper Wallace, and for Bruce Pearl for sitting down a little earlier in the week for an interview as well. Now stay tuned for the Outdoor Alabama Countdown to Kickoff, featuring more matchup analysis, SEC reports, starting lineups, interviews with Coach Freeze, coordinators and players, and a lot more ahead of today's game in Nashville. Still one more 2-minute drill. We'll check scores. We thank you for listening to the Tiger Tailgate Show.
Who out there likes to eat chicken? Did you know that when it comes to chicken production, Alabama rules the roost? In fact,